You're a barstool athlete. What does that mean? And because I see it everywhere. What does that pertain to you?
Yeah, so the whole after the whole NIL deal came out last year, Dave Portnoy kind of blew up with the whole everybody can be a barstool athlete, and just a couple. He was offering free gear, so basically, a bunch of dudes that I know, and including me, just kind of went through the whole process, signed up and everything, and got some free gear. So I was
Damn.
happy about that.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
It's all probably like a marketing thing where he just wants to build his brand around athletes,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
smart and which is has benefits for yourself as well, like you said, free gear. But yeah. So anyway, Stanford. How'd you come to the decision with Stanford, and why is it the best fit for you?
Yeah, so actually, my recruiting process was, it was difficult. I had a bunch of different options. I ended up working out, not working out, and all that. But once I got the green light to go to Stanford, I think it's a hard decision to turn down.
Right.
Um,
I feel like
the Stanford,
there's like a couple schools where you're like, if I get any interest from them, it's like an automatic. And as like an academic, like that's really someone who's really good at academics like yourself, like we saw honor roll a couple times. I'm sure Stanford was the top choice for you, regardless football or not.
yes, sir, yeah, exactly. So once I found out I got in, committed right away, no hesitation at all. It's the best of both worlds when it comes to academics and athletics. So, obviously, I'm gonna. Everyone says when you come to Stanford, it's more about the 40-year plan than the 4-year plan. You know, because you can do what you need to do on the field and get all the representation you need to get to the NFL, and also at the same time, if it doesn't work out, you have the one of the best degrees you can have. So.
Absolutely. And how big of an effect do you think life after football has with the Stanford degree? Like, what are opportunities that present for yourself? You think that you'll have?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. Actually, something that I think most people think about while they're here is just really forming your connections.
Hmm.
Try to make friends with as much people as you can because you have no idea who the next Elon Musk or the next Bill Gates is going to be. So especially when you're at a university like this, you come across a lot of brilliant people, and I figure I'll definitely run into them later down the road in life, and I'm sure it would be a good connection to have.
Absolutely. And you say how the next Elon Musk could be sitting next to you in class or something. And I'm
Exactly.
sure at Stanford, that's an increased chance than at another school you were being recruited by or something like that. So that's pretty good. So
Yeah.
no one really just gets to your spot by chance or luck. Obviously, a lot of time, a lot of hours, hard work goes into where you are today. What and that in the fields of training hard, in the fields of staying on a strict diet, where you have to nutrition's ultimately maybe more important than physical. What would you say is some of your non-negotiables when it comes to training and being prepared for the next season?
Yeah, so I said, the non-negotiables is just you got to show up every day with a great attitude and just ready to work. My dad tells me something every time I'm complaining about how hard something is. He tells me, if it was easy, everybody would do it, and it's just a fact. The student athlete life, especially when you get to the collegiate level, is definitely not easy, and has a toll on your body and your brain, especially. You're just mentally and physically exhausted. So I think just the main thing you got to do every day is just show up, ready to go, be positive, and just kind of just love what you're doing. Really just fall in love with the grind. So
Definitely. Is there like a do you have like a like not maybe not like a mentor, but someone you look up to on like either coaching staff or another player at Stanford? Is there someone that like really like you look up to?
yeah, so if we're keeping it at Stanford, I would definitely say Thomas Booker was somebody I looked up to a lot. He recently just he was a senior this past season, so he's moving on to bigger and better things. But yeah, I definitely looked up to him a lot. He was our D line leader, team leader. Um, Definitely somebody who I can create as a role model on and off the field. Great student, great people person, obviously great athlete, about to be in the NFL. So yeah, but off the field, outside of Stanford, I always go to and look up to my brother as well. He also was a football player. He played at University of Arizona, and he was before my time, so he's been through this process already, and whenever I have questions or confusions when I'm going through stuff, I just go to him because he's already been through it.
Yeah, that's definitely not a bad person to have in your life. Someone who's already been through
Yeah.
college football, like he just said. But for next year at Stanford, what are some of your like personal goals, and what are ultimately, well, obviously the team goal is to win, national championship. But what are some of
Yeah.
like your personal goals that you have?
Yeah. So personal goals, I definitely want to start this year. Obviously, these past 2 years, we've had an old D line, and now my class is now the oldest class in the room. So it's now our chance to trying to prove ourselves and get some more playing time and show what we can do. Also, in that, another personal goal I have is I'm trying to gain weight right now. So I got about another 10 pounds I'm trying to get to,
Hmm.
and every day it's just you gotta stay focused on the diet, nutrition standpoint, and continue working out, building that muscle, and just trying to reach that goal. So.
When you mention diet, is there like meal prepping that goes on, or is it like you go into your facility and they take care of you?
So yeah, we have a nutritionist on the team, and I meet with him individually a couple times a week, um, and we go over what we want to do. And we have an app that we have, and we
Mm.
track all of the food we eat, and so obviously he knows we're not lying when we tell him what we're doing. But yeah, no, we have our athlete dining hall takes care of us very well. Everything we need there is there, and um, yeah, but no, strictly the diets that I'm on right now. It's just basically a high protein, high calorie diet. Trying to eat as much lean protein, and balancing out the carbohydrates depending on how much activity I do that day to make sure I'm putting on lean mass and not fat mass. So
Absolutely. So this is, if you don't mind answering this question, when you're training, right? Um, Defense end at Stanford, probably one of the top 1% of physical people, like physique in the world, really, because someone at the top of their physical nature. What are some numbers of your of lifts? Like, I don't know if this is a weird question, but like, what do you bench, squat, and deadlift for the three lifts, or do you even do those at Stanford?
yeah, actually we're not big on deadlifts. We're
Mm.
more of just a clean squat bench kind of people. But yeah, so um, yeah, my squat number I squat around like let's see, we haven't maxed in a while, but last time we maxed out, I maxed out I think 2 reps of was it 510? Might have been 510. And then I power cleaned um 305. Still working on that. Power clean 305. And I'm not really a bench guy. Actually, I have a torn rotator cuff at the moment, so have not been able to kind of push the weight in a while on the
Hmm.
bench. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's very interesting to hear because I played football in high school. I'm a 5'9" linebacker. Not, not nowhere near that. So I just feel like it's just interesting to hear, and people love to hear that sort of stuff. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but another thing I want to ask you, when COVID happened and there was a lot of restriction based, like 2020, how did that year go, and how hard was it for you to stay really just sane and normalize the process of being a football player?
Yeah. Well, so I don't know if you know, but Santa Clara County it was one of the most strict counties in the world when it came to COVID. So I think Stanford athletes definitely dealt with a lot more than the rest of the country, to be honest.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 2020 was a rough year for everybody, But from a Stanford football standpoint, it was my freshman year, so it was also weird. Well, obviously, it wasn't a normal introduction to college, but we came in. We actually lived in a hotel for 2 months. My first 2 months here,
Wow.
so shout out to the Sheraton Paulucci Hotel for being my first dormitory in college. But yeah, it was tough. Online school, being isolated in your own room, and basically only coming into contact with your teammates when you work out and when you're getting food and all that. It was rough. Just you wake up and you walk 2 feet to your desk to go to class, and then you're just in a little box room for forever. But then, it did help when it was time to go to practice or go train. You get outside, go hang out with you guys and all that. But yeah, no, definitely not a time to smile upon. So
Man, yeah. Uh, to be honest, like I'm in college myself. 2020 was my senior year of high school, and since literally that weekend in March that everything closed down, I still have not been in a classroom yet since then.
yeah,
So it's been a while. I'm sure everyone has their story of how tough it was, but I feel like everything and a big thing with athletic minds is adapting to the circumstances around you, and that also plays a big part with athletic minds. A big part is also athletes' mental health, and I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. So we like to ask athletes that we have on this podcast, if you had any advice to someone going through a tough time, what would you say to them?
yeah. No, for anybody that's going through a tough time, you just gotta I say talk to your closest loved ones, because you never know. Everybody can go through similar things, and everybody can help each other out, especially the ones closest to you. But for another standpoint, if you're going through something that you don't want to talk about, you're struggling with, just trying to focus on the positives in life. There's so many good things you can think about that's going on in your life. You get to wake up every day. You get to go outside, sun shining. It's a good day. You just gotta try to make the most of it. I know some things could be hard at some point, but you just gotta look at the positive of life and just try to make the most of it.
Hmm. Because everyone has their struggles, and everyone also has their positives. And I feel like we maximize the positives and just stop looking at the negatives. Like there's this analogy where
Exactly.
there's like I think it was like something like 86,000 seconds in a day, and then they compared it to money, and then if you had that much money or that much time, would you be mad if someone took $10? Would you be mad if someone took 10 seconds and something like that? So you just got to focus on the positives, I feel, and that's a big thing where people kind of get lost in that they think something's going to affect them so hardly, but
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. But yeah, I think the main thing that helps that a lot of people don't do, especially as the younger generation is growing up a little bit, is I don't think people talk enough. I think you really need to go to your loved ones because they care about you, your friends, family, cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever you got. I mean, people that care about you will help you through tough times, and will definitely have some good advice to give you to help get through those tough times. So
Absolutely. I appreciate you saying that because not a lot of athletes really step up and, share their thoughts or spread just anything about, because everything, stereotypical athlete just focus, hard nose, like, stuff like that.
yeah,
So, with Athletic Minds, we're trying to change that narrative.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially when it comes to athletes, based off their nature and the hard work ethic and everything, they think they can just get do it by themselves and just kind of
Yeah.
get through those tough times. And I've been that guy. I have been there before, but it comes a point you gotta swallow your pride and speak up. Tell your teammates. And like I said, just tell your loved ones. So,
Absolutely, man. Whew. You got anything you want to add in there?
no, it's all you, man. Whatever.
Anything? Because we hit on all the points I wanted to get to. Um, Man, I got my Gatorade too. I don't know if there's Gatorade in that bottle.
Nah, it's water, but Gatorade bottle. So
I got you. All right, I want to thank Matt for taking the time to talk with us. Stanford defensive end. Uh, Thank you so much, and we're looking forward to see where you go next year. We want to get you on the field, and we'll be keeping in touch.
all right, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course, man.